Well, it's another rainy day here in the Pacific Northwest. This is an update from east of Gresham. And the great news that I discovered in the last couple of days is that this roof doesn't leak. Unfortunately, the canopy on the back of the truck has always leaked to some degree. Not as much as it used to. But, there's been issues that I've contended with, even in the hot of the summer. Things like mildew smells or other liquids have spilled and, created a disturbance to the space that I was trying to survive in. And I did survive in for many months. So, as a lot of you know, in the last month I put a lot of time and energy and focus into improving my situation, and I poured a lot of resources into this. I'm also grateful for the help that made this possible. So this is something that's still in evolution, and it hasn't hit its final destination. And to kind of show you what we've done recently since it's been towed over to this property, because we're getting the truck ready to actually legally drive with this trailer behind it. That includes the electrical system, and most of that is done. This door in the last couple of days swelled to a point where it wouldn't shut. So one of the things that we've learned is after you build something and it rains, the door's going to get bigger. Now it shuts. This was stuck around here just the other day. And as you can see, there's some vents. On the inside, I haven't covered these. And it's starting to get colder. I'm starting to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning again. Cold, even though I have a couple sleeping bags. I'm literally... And not only that, if you look over here, I like the fact, I don't regret putting in hardwood floors, but it's not the easiest thing to sleep on. So a lot of the physical resources, financial resources, a lot of things went into building this. And you can see I have a power inverter back there. Although the solar panels aren't mounted yet to the roof, they're on the outside here, leaning against the warehouse, this building here. But in time, hopefully I'll have another battery, and I'll have some sort of a roof rack system. But there's not going to be any drilling into this roof because it's waterproof. We don't want to disrupt that. We definitely don't want to go there just so I have a little bit of power. So I'm exploring with ideas for racks for the solar panels. But I'm also thinking about security. I mean, these are hot items. If you're a junkie and you're in Portland and you see solar panels laying around or within reach, maybe you're on a roof and you're looking down. I don't want this to be a target. I want this to live a long life. So, thanks to my friend here east of Gresham, we're looking at a few modifications. We already took care of one. The other that I'll mention briefly is the area around the tongue of this trailer hitch. These trailer hitches come from Harbor Freight, and if you use the 25% off coupon and buy it when it's on sale, you can get these for $270 something. I paid $277. This, I was told, was not enough to where it was previously, how it was previously constructed. Not long enough to really allow my truck to turn. And this is something that we did come across when we attempted to do the first test drive, which has been delayed because it did not appear to be a safe situation. There wasn't enough. I was only able to turn from here to here. Now with this extended, taking off the previous weld and putting in 2 bolts, I feel that it's more of a stable connection. Now, I'm not an expert, and I also trust the suggestions of my friends. But sometimes I have to make an executive decision and go, something has to be modified. It just can't be held together by a weld. And my common sense has to override the idea that someone else knows more than me. And that was basically the case in this. Looking at something that is probably one of the most important parts of the trailer, this tongue connecting to the ball of the bumper, the hitch, that I and a friend went and pulled off of another Toyota at a junkyard in North Portland. So instead of it just hanging by a weld, which over time could be disrupted, we went for redoing this and extending it. As far as the lighting system, we're going from a 5-wire system into a 4-wire system, so there needs to be an additional wire, basically, or an adapter, according to the Harbor Freight manual, for my foreign truck to communicate properly with this. The iron is, these are made in China. So this is where we're at now. I'll give you one more look at the inside of the micro camper. And I'm still without a computer, but if I get a computer in the next couple weeks, I'm going to start doing more videos inside this micro camper. Got a little desk here. It's not much to look at. You've already getting a brief look, but it's something that I feel will be warm enough and dry enough for sleeping. And we've got switches here for the LED lights. I'm going to have to find a battery charger and a place to plug it in once in a while for my marine grade battery and get another, just so I can simply run these lights if I'm in a situation where I can't use solar. I'm going to be leaving this property in about a day or so, maybe 2 days, and I'll be back in the Portland area. I've been walking on eggshells simply because I don't want to overstay my welcome, and I know that a lot of women want their space in their situations where boyfriends invite me. The men invite me to the property, but it's really about getting the girlfriend to be okay with it. Maybe they're okay with it for a little bit. I don't even have to say anything. Sometimes it's a personal issue. Sometimes it's their issue. And that is the human condition that we're all under, is learning to live with each other and have healthy, mindful relationships. And so I'm constantly in situations where I see control in relationships, but I also see the compassion. Regardless of that control, I still see people being good to me. Even if they're not perfect, there is still goodness in anyone that, even for a few days, shows compassion to me and lets me park on their property so I can get a little bit of grounding and think about what I'm going to do with my life from that point on. Those are the things that I choose to take away from situations. Even if I have a falling out with a friend temporarily over a misunderstanding, I'll still be grateful for where I'm helped in situations in my life that have helped get me to the next level. So this is the back area, and this is going to grow as time goes on, but hopefully with the right kitchen things, you know, low energy usage, things like 12-volt items. I did a video with the 12-volt fridge, you know, a 12-volt crock pot, you know, and maybe some other things, maybe a 12-volt hot pad. These are things that I'm looking for, as well as the Mr. Buddy heater. I'm looking to score that on Craigslist for $50. But with the Mr. Buddy heater, which is an indoor safe propane heater, when the doors are shut, and we've also got to get some weather stripping, we're going to Ace Hardware today in Sandy, Oregon to get that. We've also got trim here that was added thanks to my friend Brett that did this while I was away Saturday, who's holding the camera. So we want to stop any potential of rain getting in here, and we want to basically create some warmth. Once I get that indoor safe propane heater, but there's going to be just enough ventilation to allow any carbon monoxide to get out. But the thing about the Mr. Buddy heater is it will shut off. It has a safety option. So if there is some sort of poison gas, carbon monoxide, in a camper, in a confined space, or in a tent, which they're recommended for, the thing's supposed to shut off. So that's the next major thing that I'm looking to get, which will complete the initial phase of this building project. And then from here on out, it's going to be utilizing it, living in it, finding peace in it, making videos in it. This is a book by Mark Sundin, and it's called The Man Who Lived Without Money. Oftentimes in my life, books are dropped at my doorstep or mailed to me. In 1 week, a couple years ago, 2009, two different girlfriends, former girlfriends, sent me The Holographic Universe by Michael Talbot, and a lot of information as to how our thoughts create reality, or even how the controllers manipulate reality by controlling thoughts. That book relates to some of that, even though the book isn't about the conspiracy, but it's about thoughts. And so sometimes books will find me that I need to read that will help complete an understanding. And so this is a book written by someone that went on the same journey that I went on. He came to his own conclusions. He had his own experiences in Utah, where he actually lives in a cave. Every now and then he's run out by the forest rangers, and there's issues with that, with him being told to go to court and him being fined, and him saying, hey, I'm a living human being. You know, what right is it for anyone to say that this property belongs to you? And there's a consciousness expansion that is taking place on the planet, with people realizing they don't have to be slaves to their jobs. They don't have to be slaves to certain relationships. They don't have to live in constant fear of living in lack, when they just go out and do it and free themselves with what either people will think about them, or free themselves from the fear of going through a cold night or a period of time without a certain amount of money or technology. Now I've lived without a working computer. Okay, I've lived without family for extended periods of time. I've had my own power outage, and the fact that I have lived without power for periods of time, and now I'm learning to do it in the winter of what is becoming one of the most popular cities to move to in all of America. In other words, there's a lot of greed and evil in Portland right now. I'm sorry if that offends some people. There's a lot of great too. And so I'm in a experience where I'm in a city where I'm trying to do good things, and there are people in Portland that do appreciate my work and would help if they could. But for the majority of the average Portlanders aware of my work, it's not valued by the community. So I'm in a situation where I'm trying to persevere against the negative energy that I feel really doesn't even want me here, to be grounded in the Pacific Northwest. So before making rash decisions and going to Colorado right away or making rash decisions, I'm very dedicated to moving the program forward and its intention to help wake people up to the next level in their own lives, or to help them help themselves by helping them see certain truths. And that light bulb goes off and other light bulbs go off, and all of a sudden you've got a ripple effect in their own consciousness that they themselves are driving. All I said was a few things to maybe unlock some doors or point away here or point, but they're going to figure things out for themselves. But if you look at mainstream TV today and you compare it to shows like mine, not just my show, but shows like mine, outside the box types of shows, you see that there's still a whole lot of propaganda out there. Still a lot of flashy lights trying to, send people in fearful directions. Be afraid of ISIS. Be afraid of Ebola. Oh, by the way, now they say it's in Texas. All these other threats. Global warming, folks. The world is ending. Everybody move to Portland. That's what the New York Times is reporting on. There has to be a voice of reason that is selflessly putting out information, because that's how we help ourselves in this world. We don't become consumed with money. We don't become consumed with lust and our own sexual thirsts. I'm not saying suppress yourself. We don't be consumed with all our own personal goals. I'm not saying don't have any goals of yourself. We have to think about other generations and helping other people by using the technologies that we have. This is the hammer and nails, the camera and YouTube. Regardless of who owns YouTube, the fact of the matter is we're still sharing information. And that's what's most important. So with that, I'm going to close. We're going to go to Home Depot and get some additional materials. If anyone wants to contribute to this mission, they can always find my PayPal somewhere out there at alex_answery@hotmail.com. And we will see you in the next video.